So here's my review for Le Morte d'Arthur. It's the Barnes and Noble's collector's edition. It's leather-bound, just like all the others. It's slightly different from the others, from what you can see on the side of it, in that this black on the band is the only second colour that you get in terms of accents. All the others you can see, you've got gold and purple here, and here you've got some pink and white and dark blue, and the same thing here, right? Some red and gold and white and blue. So lots of colours. Here you've only really got gold and a little tiny bit of back in the background here. But other than that, it's a really beautiful side. You have this gold design, this gold pattern. It looks really great. It's a little bit more matte than, say, the Arabian Nights here. Actually, I'm finding that most of the Barnes and Noble's leather-bound books are more glossy. I can show you the ones that are on my other shelf as well. You see they kind of reflect the sunlight quite well. Especially you can see the Divine Comedy over here, and well, you see what I mean. Whereas Le Morte d'Arthur is kind of a matte finish to it, which is why I've placed it next to the Holy Bible, which has got a similar kind of finish. So let's have a look at the book itself. The front of it, I'm not a huge fan, to be honest. It's a sticker. It's far from being ugly. I mean, it's it's this floral design that goes all the way around is really, it's really quite beautiful. It's just this sticker, which is it's glossy, and you can see it's actually had a few troubles in transit. I got this one from Amazon. I don't know if it was in transit or if it was poorly stored, but anyway, you can see those dents there. Again, these are $25 editions. They're not $250 editions, and you're only going to see the front cover of it when it's out of the shelf, and even when it's out of the shelf, you're going to be seeing what's inside, and what's inside is really beautiful, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. But anyway, so that's what you get on the front. Close up a little bit on the illustration, which is pretty enough. All right, but I can't help but feel like it would have been prettier without a sticker on. The back of it is much nicer. The back of it is really quite sumptuous. Have a look at this. It's actually embossed, so that is really gorgeous. It's a very beautiful coat of arms there. Justimus Rex. Justissimus, the most just king. All right. So, as I was saying, what's really beautiful about this book, apart from obviously the beautiful side and the back and just everything except for the sticker, what's really beautiful is what's inside. So here's a look at the pattern on the inside of the colour, which of course recalls what's on the back over here. There we go. And a slightly different colour here. And this is the detail, which isn't advertised anywhere. The illustrations by Arthur Rackham. In fact, it's the only place in this book that actually mentions Arthur Rackham's name, apart from on the illustrations themselves, if you look very, very closely. So let me show you this. So it's the version of the text which was published in 1485. Apparently it was discovered in 1939, I think, something along those lines, that there may have been an earlier publication of this particular version of the book. But it was in 1909 that this original version was modernized, which I suppose puts this book at home with all the other turn-of-the-century books by Barnes and Noble. Got the preface by William Caxton from the, 1485. Yeah, so I guess that's that's what we saw right here, 1485. Just showing off now. And over here is the contents of the chapters shortly of the first book of King Arthur. It's really cute actually how they've done this this contents page with the original wording, and then after that you have the second book, which deals with of the damsel which came girt with a sword for to find a man of such virtue to draw it out of the scabbard. I guess that's a story that we all know and love about young King Arthur pulling the sword out of the stone. Here follow the chapters of the third book. Here follow the chapters of the fourth book. And I just love the inconsistency here. Of the fifth book, the chapters follow, and so on. Anyway, you get the idea. And then after the contents page, it's a big book. Okay, there's the 11th book, 13th, 17th, 18th, 20th book. Here followeth the book of the piteous history, which is the Morte or death of King Arthur, and the chapters of the 20th book. All right, all the way to the 21st book, which is where the book ends on page 846, I assume, 47 being where the glossary starts. And here's a list of the illustrations. Again, no mention of the artist. But it was just going through it that I realised it was Arthur Rackham. So it doesn't look like there are that many illustrations. There's page 5, 15, then goes to 96 and so on. But actually those illustrations are just the main illustrations, because all the way through this book you have these beautiful wood cuttings, just really, really beautiful. And then you see illustrations like this one are not mentioned on that list of illustrations. And they appear regularly. So this would be considered to be a major illustration, and that one is listed. But this one is not. I think get to page 15, where you get to see the first really nice illustration by Arthur Rackham, and it's just down here. Oh, that is Arthur Rackham. There we go. I was very surprised. Anyway, happily surprised. I'm a big fan of Arthur Rackham. I'll do a review of my anthology of his works that I've got also maybe a little later. So yes, the illustrations are in black and white, but they're very nicely rendered. Very, very nicely. Okay. End of chapters. and so on. Oh, I forgot to tell you, the edge here is gold gilded. There we are. And let me give you an idea of the density of those larger prints. Yeah, so you can see how often they occur. Yes, it's about every 20 pages or so, I suppose. Some of the gaps are larger than others. But those little illustrations kind of keep you waiting until the next one. Yes, some of them seem to repeat, and some of them are unique. So I will point out that the language is old school. Yeah. Nevertheless, absolutely beautiful and perfectly readable, of course. All the way to the end. What do we have here? Some ducks. All the way to the end where you have the glossary, which is very welcome glossary. Here we go. There's some of the more obscure language translated for a modern audience. And there it is, Le Morte d'Arthur. A mostly beautiful edition, slightly marred by this sticker, but it certainly hasn't stopped me from getting it. It's a very, very lovely addition to my bookshelf.